It's not by chance that you're viewing this video. There's a reason you're here. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Trust the timing of your life and know that you're being led to where you're meant to be. As you stumble on this video, perhaps not by chance, it will serve to awaken your spirit. Since your earliest days, there has been something inherently different about you. You never fully fit in. You never truly blended with the crowd. And no matter how hard you tried, you could not conform to what everyone else expected. That is because from the moment of your birth, you were marked, chosen, and set apart for a divine assignment that only you are capable of fulfilling. This is not merely a message. It is a confirmation, a divine acknowledgement of the purpose that has always been within you. Take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and open your spirit, because the truth you have been seeking is about to unfold. Before we go deeper into this revelation, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because this is not simply content, chosen one. This is divine confirmation for those who have been marked since birth for a higher calling. To everyone who has been supporting through Super Thanks, God bless you abundantly. Your love, your presence, and your unwavering consistency are seen and honored. You are not just watching, you are aligning, and heaven has taken notice. If your spirit resonates with this message right now, type 77 in the comments. That number is not random. It is a signal, a declaration to the Most High and to the universe that you are ready. Ready to step fully into your calling, ready to receive the anointing, ready to walk in the purpose that was written over your life long before you took your first breath. Understand this clearly. Not everyone is meant to hear this message. Some will click away because only the truly chosen can bear the weight of this truth. Those who remain, those who continue listening with open hearts, will receive clarity, awakening, and profound spiritual confirmation about why their life has unfolded exactly as it has. This is not a message to listen to once and forget. It is layered. It is living revelation. It breathes. It speaks. It unfolds with every encounter. Return to this message whenever your spirit calls you, because with each listen, another veil will fall, another layer of your divine identity will be revealed, and another piece of your purpose will be illuminated. Now let us dive in. Chapter 1: The Difference You Couldn't Hide. From the very beginning of your life, there was something about you that could not be explained, something that made you stand apart in ways others could feel but could not describe. Even as a child, though you may not have fully understood it, the atmosphere seemed to shift whenever you entered a room. It was never arrogance, pride, or an attempt to draw attention. It was your presence, an invisible energy, a quiet authority, a subtle force that made people pause, look twice, or feel something unfamiliar in your company. Perhaps you were the quiet one, the deep thinker, the child whose mind wandered while others played without thought. Perhaps you were the one who noticed the smallest details, the tone in someone's voice, the heaviness in their energy, the sadness that hid behind a smile. You were never satisfied with surface-level interactions or shallow explanations. You always wanted to know why. Why do people hurt? Why does the world feel broken? Why do you feel different from everyone else? You were not attempting to stand out or be noticed. You were born set apart, marked from the beginning with a uniqueness that could not be dimmed. And even when you tried to fit in, even when you attempted to conform to the illusion of normalcy, something inside you resisted. Something within you refused to compromise your truth, your awareness, your calling, and your unexplainable difference. When others find comfort in blending with the crowd, something within you quietly whispers, "There is more." While many walk blindly through life, content with what they could see, your spirit sensed the unseen. You could feel shifts in the atmosphere before anything happened. You could detect when something wasn't right, even when not a single word had been spoken. Your inner being would tighten when danger drew near or when someone's intentions carried hidden motives. And there were moments when that deep sensitivity made you question yourself. You wondered, why do I feel so much? Why do I care so deeply? Why can't I just move through life like everyone else? But as a chosen one, your sensitivity was never a weakness. It was spiritual intelligence. It was evidence of the higher frequency your soul was designed to operate on. While others perceived only what was visible, you were already tuned into what was invisible. You could walk into a room and sense joy, grief, tension, or deceit without anyone having to utter a single word. You could look into someone's eyes and feel the cry of their soul, even when their lips said, "I'm fine." That ability to feel, that sacred awareness, was never a burden. It was a divine gift. It was how God ensured you would never be blind to truth. And even when betrayal cut deep or rejection stung your heart, you continued to love. You gave people more chances than they deserved. You forgave when logic told you not to. You kept your heart open even after it had been broken into pieces. That kind of love is not ordinary. It is divine. It is the unmistakable mark of someone carrying the light of God. You see, your difference was never a flaw. It was your signature. It was the divine imprint of distinction placed upon your soul before your first breath. God encoded your very DNA with empathy, purpose, and spiritual power. He set you apart to see what others refused to see, to hear what others chose to ignore, and to feel what others denied. You were not simply born, you were sent. You did not just arrive, you were assigned. Before your name was spoken on earth, it was already written in heaven. Before your eyes opened to this world, your spirit had already agreed to a sacred mission. You carry ancient wisdom, wisdom that existed before time began. You walk with strength forged across lifetimes, an authority that even your enemies recognized long before you did. That is why you were misunderstood. That is why people projected their insecurities onto you. That is why they whispered, questioned, and envied. They could feel your light long before you understood its source. But now you are awakening to what has always been true. You are not ordinary. You are not random. You are marked, chosen, destined, and divinely appointed for something far greater than you have yet imagined. Chapter 2. Early rejection was preparing you for greatness. Chosen one, the rejection you experienced was never accidental, and it was never a coincidence. It was never because there was something wrong with you. From the very beginning of your life, you did not seamlessly blend into your family or your surroundings the way others seemed to. You did not think the same. You did not feel the same. You did not respond in the same way. While those around you adhered to familiar patterns, inherited beliefs, and the routines of their environment, your spirit was attuned to something higher, something sacred, something beyond the comprehension of those closest to you. You were misunderstood because your soul operated on a frequency that others could not hear. Your heart sensed truths they did not value. Your mind perceived possibilities they could not fathom. And so instead of being embraced and accepted, you were met with distance. Instead of being celebrated for your uniqueness, you were questioned. Instead of feeling the comfort of belonging, you felt misplaced, isolated, and different. There were moments when you found yourself asking, why am I always the one who is different? Why do I feel like I don't fit anywhere? Why do the people closest to me make me feel the furthest away? Listen carefully, beloved chosen one. That rejection was not a wound. It was a shield. God never allowed you to become too attached to environments that would have stifled your potential. You were never meant to settle where you began. If you had been fully accepted by those around you, you would have adapted to their limitations. You would have dimmed your light to conform. You would have normalized dysfunctions that you were born to break. That early rejection was a form of divine training, a preparation for the greatness that your soul was designed to manifest. Every moment of exclusion, every whispered doubt, every subtle form of dismissal was molding your spirit, sharpening your discernment, and aligning you with the calling that no one else could define or contain. You were not rejected to be diminished. You were rejected to be elevated. So God intentionally created distance in your life. You did not lose them. Rather, they were removed to allow your growth and to protect the destiny within you. You were not excluded. You were deliberately set apart. The loneliness you experienced was never abandonment. It was divine isolation, a sacred space where your spirit could be refined. It was in those quiet, painful, and often confusing seasons that your character was strengthened, your empathy expanded, your intuition sharpened, and your strength matured beyond what you had thought possible. You learned to stand alone. You learned to soothe yourself, validate yourself, correct yourself, and believe in yourself without relying on the approval of others. While many around you needed recognition or affirmation to move forward, you discovered how to walk guided solely by the Spirit of God. This preparation was essential because when God elevates you, when He positions you in places that others only dream of, you will not crumble under the weight of being different. You will not fold because support is absent. You will not shrink because others fail to understand you. Why? Because you have already endured the training. You have already experienced being misunderstood. You have already walked alone. You have already relied entirely on God when no one stood by your side. Rejection was not a punishment, it was divine conditioning. It fortified your spirit without hardening your heart. It taught you to love without seeking approval. It taught you to remain authentic even when you were not celebrated. You were not rejected because you lacked ability, value, or purpose. You were rejected because you were chosen. Chosen to break cycles. Chosen to rise above inherited patterns. Chosen to become what no one in your lineage had the courage or vision to become. One day, those who dismissed, overlooked, or misunderstood you will look back and realize that you were never the black sheep. You were the golden one, hidden in plain sight. God did not isolate you to punish you. He isolated you to prepare you for the greatness that only you could achieve. Chapter 3. Your divine spiritual gifts emerged early. Chosen one, long before you fully understood the person you were becoming, there were unmistakable signs of your spiritual gifts. From your earliest years, you were subtly attuned to the unseen, though you could not yet name or explain it. You dreamed dreams as a child that later unfolded in reality, as if your spirit had been quietly preparing you for the assignments ahead. You could sense when someone was speaking falsely, even if their words appeared convincing. You felt the tension, peace, sorrow, or spiritual heaviness in rooms where others remained oblivious. You did not simply observe life. You experienced it on a soul-deep level. You were spiritually awake before you had the language to describe it. You were connected before any teaching could guide you. You were chosen before you fully comprehended the divine assignment placed upon your life. While others moved through life without questioning or sensing, your spirit remained alert, aware, and finely tuned to what was unseen. You noticed the things people left unsaid. You felt the emotions they tried to conceal. You picked up on energies, motives, and intentions without any logical explanation. And because the world did not understand your depth, it tried to confine you with labels. Too emotional, too sensitive, too intense, too different. But chosen one, those labels were a misinterpretation of your gifts. What others called weakness was actually spiritual discernment. What they mocked as overthinking was in fact prophetic insight. What they dismissed as dramatic behavior was actually a heightened spiritual radar, finely tuned to God's frequency. Your emotions were never random. They were divine antennas, attuned to detect what others could not see. Your tears were never foolish. They were spiritual release. Your depth was never a burden. It was a mark of your divine design. You were born with the ability to perceive the invisible, to hear the whispers of the unseen, and to sense truths that others could not detect. You were born with a heart capable of feeling beyond the surface because your purpose requires understanding the spiritual realities before they manifest in the physical. Your life has always been destined to operate beyond ordinary perception, to navigate the invisible, and to act upon the insights that only a spiritually awakened soul can discern. Even in the moments when you attempted to silence or suppress your spiritual gifts, they continued to pursue you with quiet persistence. You could sense deception cloaked in friendliness, feel impending trouble before it manifested, and read the energy within conversations without a single word needing to be spoken. What others dismissed as anxiety or imagination was never disorder. It was divine discernment, sacred awareness finely tuned by God Himself. Your spiritual sensitivity was never a flaw. It was a safeguard. It was the unseen barrier that alerted your spirit to danger long before your mind could comprehend it. It was the reason you felt discomfort around certain people, even when their intentions seemed pure on the surface. It was your soul's alarm, warning you when to withdraw, when to remain still, and when to preserve your peace. The same tender heart that once made you weep easily as a child is now the very vessel through which you hear the voice of God with clarity and precision. Understand this. Your sensitivity has always been a reflection of your spiritual intelligence. You were never fragile. You were finely attuned. Those without spiritual depth cannot interpret your essence. Those disconnected from divine frequency cannot grasp your awareness. Those who have numbed themselves to truth will never understand what it means to feel on the level that you do. You were not designed to skim the surface of life. You were created to navigate both the physical and the spiritual dimensions simultaneously, bridging heaven and earth through your very presence. And now, beloved chosen one, the same gifts that once made you feel like an outsider are becoming the very foundation of your purpose. Your empathy is no longer a burden. It is a sacred instrument of revelation. Your discernment is no longer confusion. It is divine protection. Your depth is no longer loneliness. It is leadership in disguise. In this new chapter, you are not learning something new. You are remembering what your soul has always known. You are not becoming someone else. You are awakening into who you have always been. Your gifts were never coincidental. They were intentionally woven into your spirit by God from the beginning of time, evidence of your calling, proof of your divine assignment. Chapter 4. Your battles were spiritual, not ordinary. The battles you have endured were far from ordinary. You, the chosen one, have not traversed an easy path. You have walked through storms that would have utterly consumed others. You have faced trials of the heart, mind, spirit, and even body. Adversity so profound that they might have broken anyone less destined for purpose. What made your journey even more bewildering was this. Long before you understood the truth of who you were, the war had already begun. Your suffering was never random, your challenges never accidental, and your pain never meaningless. For your warfare was spiritual in nature. You were not merely contending with external circumstances. You were confronting forces that discern your divine calling long before you yourself became aware of it. From the very moment you entered this world, the darkness perceived your light. Your destiny shone brightly within the spiritual realm, even while it remained hidden from your own understanding. And so, the attacks began early. They struck when you were still tender, still searching for identity, belonging, and love. The enemy waged war against your innocence, hoping to plant seeds of doubt in the soil of your youth. He targeted your childhood so you would grow into adulthood uncertain of your worth. He struck at your relationships so that you might question your value. He assaulted your mind in hopes that you would silence your own voice. And he pierced your heart so deeply that you would learn to fear love and distrust healing. Yet even through all this, you survived. Proof that the light within you has always been stronger than the darkness that sought to extinguish it. What the enemy failed to comprehend, however, was that every scheme designed to destroy you, every blow intended to weaken you, and every trial meant to derail you, instead revealed the depth of your strength and resilience. Though you have been knocked down, you did not remain prostrate, and though you have wept in silence, you have continued forward, for even in moments when you felt lost, your soul persistently summoned you back to your divine purpose, demonstrating that your struggles were never indicators of abandonment, but rather undeniable proof of your sacred assignment, for the intensity of the battle reflected the extraordinariness of your calling, the heaviness of the mantle upon your shoulders, and the necessity of learning to endure fire without being consumed, so that when your purpose fully manifests, you will stand unshaken. For you have never been merely contending with life itself, but with generations of darkness intent on preventing you from breaking the curses that have destroyed those before you. You have confronted depression because your mind was designed to harbor clarity, faced betrayal because your heart was destined to lead with compassion, endured isolation because your destiny required the discovery of your own voice, wrestled with self-doubt because confidence is your spiritual signature, and resisted relentless attacks because your very presence threatens every low vibration in its vicinity. For hell recognized your identity long before you did, which explains why the assaults came early, targeted deeply, and struck with unyielding ferocity. Knowing that once you awakened to your true authority and embraced your calling, Nothing could impede your ascent, and now, having emerged through the trials, you rise despite the damage, heal despite the scars, grow despite the losses, and become despite the setbacks, so that which sought to destroy you has ultimately shaped you. That which sought to silence you has fortified your voice, and that which sought to bury you has, in fact, planted you for a harvest of triumph. Chapter 5. Within you rests a spiritual calling older than time itself. You carry within you an ancient spiritual assignment, beloved chosen one, for your calling did not originate with your birth, nor with the moment you recognized your difference, but was etched into your soul long before your body entered this world, imbuing your existence with a depth and knowing that cannot be explained by upbringing, education, or environment. For you did not acquire your wisdom. You remembered it. Your soul contains information far older than your years. Your spirit harbors memories your mind has yet to reconcile. And there are truths you grasp instinctively, without instruction, which is why you have always moved through life as though a story were unfolding within you. A story you did not write, yet somehow always understood. Your wisdom is ancient, your intuition timeless, and your insight inherited from realms rarely touched by others, which explains why you often feel as if you have lived multiple lifetimes in one, why you perceive situations fully rather than superficially, why you remain calm in confusion and attuned to truth beneath the noise of others, why your mind operates on a different frequency. Your heart beats to a distinct rhythm, and your spirit walks steeped in history, for you were not born to pursue validation, approval, or superficial success, nor to conform to societal molds or follow the crowd, but to tread a path set apart, to shift atmospheres, transform the spiritual climate of every space you enter, awaken others merely by your presence, ignite growth in those asleep to their own potential, and bring light where darkness prevails. Love where fear resides, and truth where confusion lingers. Your very presence disrupts the familiar patterns of life. Your voice exerts authority even in a whisper, and your energy speaks with power before a word escapes your lips. For you were chosen to bear a calling laden with responsibility, tasked with accomplishing what those before you could not, to end cycles that have spanned generations, cycles of silence, pain, trauma, spiritual oppression, lack, fear, bondage, and self-doubt, and to stand as the one who confronts and dismantles the forces that destroyed those who came before you. For the battles encoded in your bloodline have met their match in you, and the strongholds that once held your family captive cannot withstand the spirit within you. For you did not break under pressure, but broke the pattern itself, earning the watchful pride of your ancestors and the recognition of the spirits who came before, backed by heaven because the earth requires your intervention. You were never meant to blend in or perpetuate the cycles of the past, but to interrupt the narrative, rewrite the story, and transform rather than merely survive. For your life is not random, your gifts are not accidental, and your journey is not coincidence, but an ancient assignment, a sacred contract, a divine mission. Your soul accepted long before your body ever entered this world, and now you are remembering, awakening, and stepping fully into what has always been yours. Chapter 6. Your spiritual awakening is occurring right now. The awakening is happening now, beloved chosen one, as your spirit stirs and rises with a rapid intensity that you cannot fully explain, manifesting as an irresistible pull within you, a magnetic draw towards something greater, higher, and divinely destined. And this is neither imagination nor coincidence, but perfect alignment. For you feel a calling, a rising, a profound shift in your inner world that is beginning to manifest outwardly, causing the things that once held your attention to lose their appeal. Familiar environments to feel heavy, old conversations to drain your energy, and past patterns to feel uncomfortable. Not because you have changed too much, but because you are finally becoming who you were always meant to be. No longer able to shrink yourself to make others comfortable, unwilling to lower your standards for acceptance, and refusing to force connections that do not resonate with your spirit. For your soul will no longer remain where it no longer belongs, As you notice your energy responding differently, certain people draining you instantly, certain habits no longer satisfying, and certain places feeling spiritually suffocating, all because your frequency has risen, your spirit has ascended beyond where your body once stood, and you are being drawn fully into purpose. Your gifts sharpening, your awareness expanding, your identity clarifying, and the things that once confused you now revealing their meaning, while the lessons you could not comprehend in times of hurt now make perfect sense, and the pieces that seemed disconnected are forming a divine, coherent picture. As your season shifts and you feel the transformation happening in real time, understanding that everything you lost was preparation, the people who walked away were creating space for alignment, the opportunities you thought you missed were acts of protection, and the silence you endured was the voice of God declaring, "Not here, not yet, I have better." Everything you have survived was a process of purification, for your heartbreak softened your spirit, your pain cultivated compassion within you, your isolation sharpened your faith, and your struggles molded you into someone strong enough to bear the weight of your divine assignment. And now everything you feel, the restlessness, the elevation, the clarity, the peace, the urgency, and the awakening is undeniable confirmation that you are stepping fully into your destined timeline, remembering your power, reconnecting with your truth, and returning to your divine identity. For this is not the beginning of your journey, but the commencement of your becoming. And you are no longer who you once were, nor will you ever fit again into the spaces from which God has delivered you, as you rise, align, and awaken to the fullness of what has always been yours. Chapter 7. Claiming your purpose with boldness and authority. Walking into your calling with authority, chosen one, this is your moment to step fully into who you always were, not who others expected you to be, not who your pain tried to diminish you into, and not who fear sought to convince you to settle for, but rather into the unveiling, revealing, and remembrance of your true identity. For you were marked for greatness before your birth, chosen for impact long before you had the words to describe it, and set apart for a purpose far greater than your past, your wounds, your failures, or any detours you have endured, so that everything you went through was not meant to break you, but to prepare you. Everything that sought to destroy you contributed to your strength, and every tear built the character necessary to carry the calling you now step into, which is not new but always yours. And therefore you are called to stand in your truth, to move with confidence that requires no validation, to trust your intuition because it is your spirit speaking, to walk boldly with God who has been with you all along. For this is neither the season to hide, nor the time to play small, nor the moment to question what God has already confirmed. And your calling is not approaching. It is here. Your purpose is not forming. It is activating. Your identity is not changing. It is revealing itself as you return to your original divine blueprint, untouched by fear, rejection, or trauma, fully remembering who you are in spirit. Chosen one, you were never meant to be ordinary, for even in the moments when you attempted to blend into the crowd, your essence continued to distinguish you. Even when you humbled yourself to meet others where they stood, your inner light refused to be dimmed. And even when your actions were misunderstood or your intentions misjudged, your spirit still spoke a truth that resonated beyond words. From the very beginning, you were not merely born, you were sent. You were intentionally designed, divinely orchestrated, and spiritually appointed for a mission your soul has carried through many lifetimes. Your very presence has the power to shift atmospheres. Your voice has the capacity to awaken sleeping hearts. And your existence itself stands as a threat to darkness. This is the reason you have been fought so intensely. Not because you were weak, but because your power is undeniable. Not because you lacked purpose, but because your purpose has the potential to shake the very foundations of the world. Not because you were ever forgotten, but because you were chosen long before you were known. Now the time has come for your life to enter a season of divine acceleration, a transformation that cannot be rationalized by logic, dismissed as luck, or reduced to coincidence. What is about to unfold can only be explained as the hand of God at work. Doors that no human being can shut will begin to open effortlessly before you. People of divine alignment will cross your path at the perfect moment. Opportunities will manifest with grace and ease, and your every step will be guided with heavenly clarity. The world will soon witness the unveiling of your rise. This is your calling. This is your alignment. This is the sacred moment of your breakthrough. Chosen one, walk boldly, confidently, and reverently into your destiny with divine authority. And remember, those who once doubted you will be compelled to watch as God honors you. Those who once overlooked you will have no choice but to recognize you. Those who once tried to hinder you will finally understand that they were never truly fighting you. They were contending with the divine power that resides within you. Because now God Himself is revealing you. God is elevating you. God is positioning you in the very place where your spirit has always known it belonged. And no power on earth, nor any force in the unseen realm, can obstruct or delay what heaven has already written concerning your life. Thanks for watching. Here ends this message. If you're eager for more, whether additional chapters to this spiritual journey or a powerful visual concept for a video or thumbnail, simply just say the word. I'm here and am ready to help bring it all to life.